What's up, everybody? Welcome to BioS3 Raw TV. Today we're going to start a new segment called Ask BioS3. And where this is coming from is through my recent breakup with Kari. I've been getting, well, before that I got a lot of questions about, relationship advice, things to do with addiction, family advice. I mean, you name it, I get questions. I guess because of my philosophy and the way that I think, I get these questions from people individually. And I think what I'm going to do now is open up the forum. Let this guy go while I'm talking. Open up the forum and say, hey, you know what? Anybody who wants to ask a question about anything that's not bodybuilding related, shoot me an email at bios3training@gmail.com. Ask the question. You want to remain anonymous, we'll do it that way. But I'll be answering the questions now on Ask BioS3. So the question that I had this time is, why are there so many ups and downs in life, and what do I do to deal with it? Now, here's something interesting. Not everybody's going to be able to do this, because some people can only handle one thing at a time. I'm the type of person that likes to just pile all the shit on at once, deal with it, and then it's done. So, with Kari and I breaking up recently, we, of course, it's never a good thing. I mean, regardless if you're still in love or not, it's never a good thing when you're ending a relationship or part of your life like that, and two people are coming apart and dividing things up and stuff. Even if you're doing it amicably and still being friends or best friends like we are, it's still a hard time. So before I made my video, my deepest, darkest secret, I had to have a talk with my mom and dad before I made that, to clear up a few things that I've been putting off for about 28 years. I put that off. And in that 28 years, everything just sat on my shoulders and weighed down on me like 1,000,000 pounds. And I had no idea that having that discussion with them would change that. The problem is, the discussion that I was thinking I was going to have was going to lead to a fight, hard feelings, argument, and both of my parents being a little bit older now. My dad recently, in the last couple of years, having survived lung cancer. Both of them are not in the best health. I mean, both have diabetes. My mom has high blood pressure. My father has issues. It's like, do I really want to, go at it? So I gave myself anxiety and, hurt myself by holding off, because I knew I was going to go through this. And not only did I not want to put them through that anguish, but I also didn't want to go through the pain of reliving everything myself. Well, when Kari and I were starting to do the whole talk about splitting up, it was at that point that I decided that now was the good time. So if I can get some of that light out of there. Now was the good time to have that talk with my parents. It's a heavy talk. It comes with a lot of emotional baggage. But if there was another time, I would just have to live through two times in my life that would have emotional baggage and scars and issues. So I said, okay, you know what? Now's the time. Right now, I'm going to call my mom, have this talk. I want to do this because I'm turning 40 this year. I want to clear the slate. When I hit 40, I want to be able to step back and look and smile at my life and say, I did what I wanted to do. I got to where I wanted to. I'm 40 now. Let's move forward from there. Whereas a lot of people freak out when they turn 40. So I decided to have that conversation. So I called my mom that night, had the conversation, and it didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. It was a lot more understanding. It was a lot more talking things out. There's a lot more adult than I thought it was going to be on both of our ends, even though my mom obviously is an adult. But the bottom line was, I compounded two situations that were going to be sad or bad or, drama related into one situation to get it done and over with, and then move on from there, healing from both of them, rather than waiting till another time and basically having double the issues at some point. Let's say you go through a breakup, you get over that and you're fine. Well, now you got to go have that conversation with your parents about this situation. Now you got to kind of relive two different things twice as opposed to one. Now, some people are not going to be able to handle that. Some people cannot handle more than one thing that's that dramatic or traumatic at one time, and that's okay. I mean, it's to the individual person. But you have to step back and say, what can I handle? What can I not handle? And then make the decision from there. I think that's a problem that, a lot of people have, is they don't think they can really handle as much as they can. You are capable of handling a hell of a lot more than you think you are. Trust me. And it's not until the shit really hits the fan that you realize, wow, I got through that. Wow, I did this, I did that. Sometimes you may even amaze yourself when you get through the other side of something negative, something bad, of what good things and positive things came of it. So my advice to you is to, compound more than one. If you have more than one bad thing, negative thing going on in your life, try to compound those two things, or two or three, whatever things, number of things there is, to face it all and get past it. But the other flip side is you're always going to look at the silver lining. So people will say, you know, Jerry, you and Kari breaking up is a very awful thing. There's some great things that came from it. You know, I learned a lot in 6 years. Kari learned a lot. We learned a lot about each other. There are different traits that rub off of one another onto the other person. There are things that I'm going to take in my life for the rest of my life that I learned from Kari, and vice versa, stuff she learned from me. Like, there's a silver lining. You know, having that discussion with my parents about, you know, the molestation when I was younger, the silver lining is that my parents were sticking up for me. That my parents did care. They did want to protect me. You know, there was a silver lining to that discussion when it was happening. And, you know, as a byproduct of that situation happening when I was a kid, I am much stronger of a person now, I think, than it would ever have been as if that never happened. Which sucks to have to go through all that, and I know there's a lot of people out there that have gone through it too. But when you come out on the other side and you have identified and fixed that situation and dealt with it and realize that it's not your fault and come to terms with it, you now have some tools that you didn't have to work with before that, you know, other things come up. You know, there's not going to be many things in your life that come up that are going to affect you that bad or that negatively like that. So as far as negative effects, you're going to have something that for the rest of your life from that negative thing that happened to you. The positive thing is you have those tools to work on those negative things and possibly recover from there faster than if you had never had that negative thing happen to begin with. I don't know if you're still following me now. There's a lot of negative and positives in this. We're just going to end it right there. So those are my advices for Ask Bios3. Bios3training@gmail.com. That's where you can send the questions. www.bios3training.com is a blog or the website. This is the Keep the Question Coming Ask Bios3 website. We're out.